Chapter 5. Separation of Substances. Most of the things around us like air, seawater, soil, rock, milk and paint are mixtures. Seawater is a mixture of salts dissolved in water. Milk is a mixture of cream or butter and water. A mixture is a substance that contains two or more pure substances mixed together in varying proportions. The substances, components, present in the mixture do not lose their identity. These components can usually be separated by simple physical methods. Milk or curd is churned to separate the butter from the water. Common salt that is used in our kitchen is prepared from seawater by separating salt from water. Let us study the need of separation of substances from their mixture. Need for separation of substances in a mixture. To remove undesirable substances. Tea is made by boiling tea leaves in water and then adding sugar and milk. After the tea has been made, used tea leaves are an undesirable component of the mixture. We separate it by using a filter called tea strainer. Before eating a banana, we peel off its skin, undesirable component. To obtain useful components. Crude petroleum is a mixture of various components such as petrol, diesel, kerosene, and petroleum gas. We separate the petroleum mixture to obtain these useful components. Kerosene is used as a household fuel, whereas petrol and diesel are used as fuels in vehicles. To remove harmful substances. We buy wheat, rice and pulses from the market. These food grains usually contain small pieces of stones and insects. These pieces of stones and insects are harmful to us. So, we separate them from wheat, rice and pulses before using them. Methods of separation. When we want to separate a component of a mixture, we should first find out some of its properties that would be different from the remaining components of the mixture. Let us study the simple methods of separating substances that are mixed together. You may come across some of these methods being used in day-to-day activities. Separation of insoluble solids from a mixture. Hand picking. The grains and pulses that we buy from the market may contain undesirable components like small stones. These components look very different from the food grains. They are of different sizes and colors, so these can be spotted easily. Such undesirable components can be removed by hand picking. Hand picking means to take out by hand. It is a convenient method of separation only when the size, shape or color of the unwanted substance is different from that of the useful one. The quantity of the mixture is small and the unwanted substance is present in smaller quantities. Threshing. Cereals like wheat and rice are a source of food for us. After harvesting these food crops, the grains need to be separated from the rest of the plant. This is done by the process of threshing. The process of separating the grains from the rest of the plant is called threshing. It is done in the following ways. In manual threshing, the farmer holds a pile of crop in his hand and hits it against a rock or any hard surface. During this process, the grains separate from the plant. Threshing can be done by a machine called thresher. This machine is used for threshing large quantities. Threshing can also be done by combine harvester. Winnowing. After threshing, a farmer gets a mixture of grains, wheat, rice and husk. Now, before grains can be used, husk, undesirable component, has to be removed from them. This is done by using the property that grains are heavier than husk. The lighter husk particles are separated from the heavier grains by the method of winnowing. In this process, the farmer takes a mixture of wheat grains and husk in a winnowing basket. He stands at a higher platform from the ground and allows the mixture to fall down from a height by shaking the winnowing basket continuously. The wheat grains, being heavy, fall down vertically on the ground and form a heap. The husk particles, being lighter, are carried away by the wind, so the husk forms a separate heap a small distance away from the heap of wheat grains. In this way, husk gets separated from the wheat grains. The method of separating heavier and lighter components of a mixture by wind or by blowing air is called winnowing. Activity 1. To understand the process of winnowing. Things needed: flat plate thali, wheat grains mixed with tiny bits of paper, old newspaper. Method: spread a sheet of newspaper on the floor. Take some wheat grains mixed with the tiny bits of paper in a flat plate. Stand on a chair and allow the mixture of wheat grains and tiny bits of paper to fall down from a height by shaking the plate continuously. Observation: the tiny bits of paper, being lighter, are carried away by the blowing air, wind, to a greater distance. So, the bits of paper form a separate heap at a little distance away from the heap of wheat grains. Sieving: when the components of a mixture have particles of different sizes, a sieve can be used to separate them. A sieve is a shallow vessel that has small holes at its bottom. The size of the holes in the sieve depend on the size of the components to be separated. The method of separating the components of a mixture that are of different sizes by using a sieve is called sieving.